Welcome everybody to the Green Machine podcast. Delighted I'm joined today by Clare Shine. Clare plays for Glasgow City and also the Republic of Ireland women's team. Welcome, Clare.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm honoured to be a part of your podcast. I'm really looking forward to it and getting to know the podcast and to have a nice chat about women's football.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, on the back of that and straight away, what did you find with the Women's Euros? Did you enjoy it?
I loved it. I watched as many games as I could, to be honest. I thought it was an unbelievable experience, I think, for the fans as well as the players. You know, the way that England ran the competition and all the games being in big stadiums, and you know, majority of England's games were all sellout as well. I think it was excellent, and for people who have never followed women's football before, it was excellent. You know, and a real eye opener to what the women's game is all about and where it's heading in the future.
Did you think, did you watch a lot of the girls as well? I think it was a very good tournament that a lot of women players got behind it. You know, we've seen a lot of the Irish players, some of your teammates actually went to games, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, and it was unbelievable. You know, RT were streaming all the games as well, and I saw Katie and Rusha were doing the commentary for RT in Wembley at the final, and you know, it's brilliant to have players like that getting involved in tournaments like this. It's a massive platform for the women's game to kind of put themselves out there and to show the world what we're really about and what we're capable of doing. And I think, you know, women's sport, especially in Ireland at the moment, is looking up. And you know, the only way is up from here, I think, especially for the women's game across all countries.
And your background then, and your interest in football coming through, what was it like for you, a young girl growing up? Who inspired you to kind of take up football?
I grew up in an estate with loads of boys actually, and they had a massive interest in football. And luckily for me, I was living behind Dave Barry, Cork City legend. Scored the goal against Bayern Munich a number of years back. So I hung around with his kids and a few of my friends in my area, and it kind of went from there. I think they saw that I had an eye for goal, and I was talented when I was younger. And Dave Barry then brought me up to Douglas Hall, and my journey went from there.
Did you find that, was there any women who inspired you then, or was that not the case? Or, you know, like, did you find yourself restricted in PE at school? Did you get to play soccer or football?
Yeah, well, I was kind of more involved in the GAA aspect. Especially in school, it was more GAA than soccer, to be honest. So I was gravitating to all sports, whatever I could kind of get my hands on. I was definitely involved in it. But then, yeah, you know, the likes of Olivia O'Toole and Emma Byrne and even Nia Fahy, you know. Yeah. I remember going to one of the games up in Dublin, and Katie Taylor was playing. Yeah. And it was unbelievable. Like, I'm not really sure what age I was at that time, but after going to that game, you know, it was something that I had always dreamed of, that I wanted to be one of them. I wanted to, you know, wear the jersey and wear it with pride. And I'm lucky enough that I have had a few caps with the senior team, and hopefully that can progress as well over the next coming years.
When you played, like, and you were kind of discovered, basically, did you find it the step up then when you were training, like how you kind of went kind of to elite level? Did you find the training harder then, you know, and were they focusing more tactically? What age were you about then when they started doing that with you?
I think I was 13 when I started playing under 15 for Ireland, and then I was 15 when I went up to under 17s, and it was around the time when we qualified for the World Cup and the European finals that, you know, football really did become serious in terms of the tactical aspect, the fitness aspect, and I think, yeah, it was a massive kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It was a massive I can't remember what I'm looking for.
Kind of challenge basically.
Yeah,
like going up to another level.
Yeah, of course, because I was always kind of going an age group up from what I was used to, and it kind of came naturally to me at times. I was always someone who struggled with the fitness aspect of the game. I struggled with my mental health as well. So like my mindset towards different things, and but having the older girls and stuff around me and them showing me the ropes really was something that I could kind of grab onto, and it helped me along the way, definitely.
So coming through the underage system then with Ireland, you'd obviously come up through with teammates, different ages and stuff, and kind of older girls as well. So how did they do that, integrate you into the squad? Because, you know, I sometimes kind of think, you know, you're going away on a camp and stuff, and, you know, there's a big kind of change between like 3 or 4 or 5 years of people's interests and stuff, music wise and fashion and everything like that. So how did they kind of manage to link all that together? And even the management, what was their kind of role in that?
Well, I was lucky enough that I had really good friends on the teams as well, like Amanda Budden, Denise O'Sullivan, Katie McCabe, um, and the girl, yeah, well, Denise and Amanda from Cork anyway, especially. So you know, I just kind of stuck to them, and they kind of made my experience a lot more enjoyable. And then throughout my underage career, I became best friends with Katie McCabe. And we were always in and out of the squads together. We came to Glasgow on trial together. We've done a lot of things together at underage level, and um, yeah, it was just amazing. You know, like football does, as well as it being on the pitch stuff, but you make friends for life off the pitch too. And it's like whenever you meet up with the squad, it's like you're meeting your family again, and everyone comes in from different areas, and the environment is always nice and positive, and that's kind of something, you know, that makes the experience a lot more enjoyable.
We see that a little bit with like the men's team. I've seen their kind of interaction with each other and welcoming people and into the group and stuff. And I think we've seen that as well with the women's team as well. And I think you kind of seen more of a bond, the women more than the men, I think, because maybe it's the money side of it as well. And, you know, that they're all coming in from big high profile clubs and stuff. But with Katie then, did you always think Katie McCabe would go on and do what she's done now and, you know, be so good at Arsenal and really step up as a leader of that Irish women's team?
100%. Katie's unbelievable on and off the pitch. You know, she puts so much effort into everything that she does. And I think, you know, you could see that from such a young age. She's extremely talented and she works hard. So, you know, when you combine the both, you can do exactly what Katie McCabe has done. I think she's an unbelievable leader. And she's more importantly, she's a brilliant person, and she's someone that's really approachable. And I think that's really important as well, as Katie's leading out, you know, the Ireland team, that she has that leadership skills, and that kind of friendly, approachable person as well. And you know, she's done unbelievable, and I'm just really proud of how far she has come with her career. There was never a doubt in my mind that she would ever not be where she is today. So yeah, you know, she's been huge for the women's game, especially in Ireland and over in the UK playing for Arsenal. I am an Arsenal fan myself,
All
so
right.
yeah, so it's just unbelievable to be able to follow her and follow her career and see all the amazing things that she does, because she deserves everything that she's getting.
She's really followed on, I think, from the likes of Emma Byrne and Nifa. Like Emma was obviously instrumental in you know, dealing with the kind of, you know, the uproar that time with how the women's game was treated in Ireland, and, you know, the whole tracksuit debacle where you're changing in airport toilets and stuff. And the game's evolved so much more from that. Do you think she took inspiration from them and just has thought, I'm going to follow on from the likes of Emma Byrne and Nifa in that way?
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, she's been around inspiring people, I think, her whole life. And, you know, when she got that role of being captain, she took it in her stride and it became natural to her. Of course, there was other elements like the media and interviews and things like that. And, you know, nothing kind of phased her, I don't think. And yeah, it just, you know, her career just went up and up and up from then, and she took the role on excellently, and you know, she's doing an unbelievable job. And even, you know, in terms of the equal pay, and she stepped up and did what needed to be done for the team and for the country. And you know, hats off to her, because she's been incredible.
So just on the, obviously we've got the game coming up in Tala against Finland, a massive game obviously for the women's team. The playoff position will be secured if we qualify, obviously. And there was a lot of talk. It sold out really quickly. a lot of talk was saying, oh, well, maybe they should have gone to, the FAI have got a lot of money. Maybe it was a way of bringing them to the Aviva Stadium. Katie's been quite vocal, I think, about that, and the women have in general. The girls want to prefer to sell out Tala. Have you got any thoughts on that?
No, I think Tala is, where the games have always been played. And I think, being able to sell out Tala is unbelievable, especially for the women's game in Ireland. It's definitely growing, and it just shows, what the sellout that where women's football in Ireland is going. And I think it's going to be an unbelievable camp for the girls. And it's going to be a massive day for them and for their families and for the fans as well. Hopefully, they can go in more and get the win and secure the playoffs. Because that team have put in an incredible amount of effort. There's a massive bond within the squad as well, and to just be able to see them, get what they deserve at the end of the day, I think that's something that they're going to be looking towards. And I think the Finland game is definitely something that they're going to be really looking forward to.
And your own ambition then to get back into the Ireland squad, are you confident of doing so?
Yeah, I just need to, look after myself first, have a bit of stability in my life and get some good run of games into the legs. Pre-season has gone really well for me. It's probably the best pre-season I've had in years. So, I've had to change a few things around in terms of my routine and in terms of how I have to handle and manage things, and it's working out so far. So, hopefully, I know once I kind of put my mind to something that I'm definitely going to be able to achieve it, especially taking the right steps towards that. So, yeah, just keeping my head down and keep doing what I have to do, and hopefully, yeah, that call will come again.
Do you think as well that obviously with the rise of interest in the women's game and stuff and your own story, there's more kind of publicity around it now where actually the players are, all England girls, for example, we know their names now, we know what they do, what clubs they play for. Everything's really scrutinised, and that as well is obviously linking into the Irish women's setup as well. That's going to bring its own pressure, though. Do you think there should be more help to people like now, especially I'm thinking of like obviously the English girls, but I can kind of see how closely bonded the Irish team girls are with them as well. It's a similar way. We're only going to get better. That's going to bring more pressure. Do you think there needs to be more help?
I think overall, yeah, there does need to be more support, especially for the girls. It's been such a massive change in terms of the media and things like that, and the demands and the expectations that us as athletes put on ourselves, but as the fans and other thing and things like that put on us as well. And that just comes with the game of football. Football is a game of opinions at the end of the day. And if you're not, in the right mindset to be able to take the criticism as well as the positive outbursts that you can get with scoring a goal or winning a game or making that unbelievable tackle, it can affect everybody's mental health at times, especially when things aren't going so well, when you're injured and you're left out of squads, you're left out of the starting 11. That these things have an effect on people's mental health, and to have someone that you can turn to or someone who's there to support you throughout all these difficult moments, will help you kind of understand and be able to control and manage the negative aspect of the game as well. And I think, that's something that I have been looking into over the last 2 years, especially, and how I can kind of behave better and handle things and control what I can control. I think it's really important to keep that positive mindset going as best as you can, because ultimately it will benefit you on the pitch as well, and it will give you that enjoyment of football back, and it will help to improve your game on and off the pitch.
Because I know the men's team, they have like David Ford, former goalkeeper, Stephen Reid, I think, is even now. He's left Nottingham Forest recently as a coach because he said he was finding it tough, kind of struggling basically with like mental health and stuff. But I think in the senior men's team, they do have David Ford there to kind of do stuff on psychology with the lads. Is that also there in the women's team or not yet?
No, there's definitely things in place for people. I had struggled for a long period of time, and I was able to go to, the doctor and for them to advise me on different things. And I think it's really hard when you're in the moment, because you don't want to jeopardize your position. You don't want that, you have that fear of judgment from others, and you feel like, you have to put your career on pause for a while, and that's how I felt for a number of years. I felt like I needed to step away from football to figure out what was going on in my mind and how I
Yeah.
was going to be able to cope with that. But you need to be able to combine them as well. You need to be able to be in that environment and be around the settings, and you know, not every day is going to be a good day, and being around people who want the best for you, I think is just really important, because if you're having a bad day and you still go into training and you know you have the buzz around the dressing room and you have your friends, it can really lift you up, and they can really help you and guide you in the right direction. And you know, having football as a safe space for me, where I can go to where I felt like I didn't have anybody, is like something that is barriers that I've had to break down for myself. Going in to a dressing room feeling like the loneliest person ever. When everybody, all my teammates and all the staff members loved me for who I was, and for what I could bring to the team, and I couldn't feel that because I was hiding a massive part of me that I wanted to be able to express, but I just felt like I didn't have it in me to be open, to be honest, just because I didn't want to worry people, or I didn't want to, you know, for it to come in between my relationship with football and my relationship with all my teammates.
Yeah, I mean, you just really analysed that really well, like spoken, explained so much. Did you, obviously on the back of your book then, did you find that kind of therapeutic in a way that you were able to tell your story in your book?
Yeah, of course. You know, I've been journeying for 10 years now.
Wow.
And I think I came out in at the start of 2022 with a letter to my younger self. And, you know, from that I spoke with Gareth Marr, who does unbelievable work for the women's team in Ireland. And we worked really closely together. And I said, you know, Gary, I have so much more that I could give. I have so much more that I could say, that I could, and I know that my story can help other people. And, you know, that was kind of the main reasoning behind it, because I just wanted to inspire people, especially, you know, in women's football and in life in general, just to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is, you know, athletes who struggle with certain things. You know, my story is a lot different to a lot of other people's mental health stories. I struggle with addiction problems, with drink and drugs, and I never had associated myself with being an alcoholic, especially being in this professional environment my whole life. It was never something that I thought that I would fall down, or that the path that I would fall down. But it just shows, you know, how powerful your mental health can be when it slips down the wrong path. And on top of the addiction and things like that, it's just, you know, I know a lot of athletes struggle with a number of things, and people in general. And I just wanted this book to be a safe place for people to kind of read through it, and know that, you know, things do get better. And that first step is speaking out and being open and being honest. And, you know, a problem shared is a problem halved at the end of the day. And you don't have to have that weight on your shoulders all the time, and having to go into training knowing that you have this, you know, these thoughts and these issues that you're having. It's just, it makes things a lot more easier, and it makes you understand, you know, what's going on in your mind so much easier to kind of understand. And yeah, I just think, you know, the book it was something that I wish I had when I was younger. And that's what I want for younger athletes or younger people in general. To just have maybe that one person that might inspire them to be a better person, or a better player, or do the right things, and, you know, change their lifestyle around a little bit if they want to follow their dreams. Because at the end of the day, if you're someone who is struggling with addiction, it will destroy all the good things in your life, and it will take away all your ambitions and all your goals and all your targets and things that you've dreamed of as a kid. So, you know, for me, I think it's amazing for me to be able to, I have the book actually right next to me. It's amazing for me to, you know, read through it. I actually read it 2 weeks ago, straight through, since it came out. And it opened my eyes to a lot of things as well, especially for me coming back into pre-season and dealing with different things, and trying to get back into the swing of things, in terms of my medication and my sleep and training twice a day and being around the girls all the time. It's like pretty full on for someone who only has a small social battery.
Yeah.
But yes, I've learned a lot of it from it as well over the last 2 weeks, and I've certainly been able to take parts of it into my preseason and into my life going forward. And yeah, I just want to inspire as many people as I can going forward, and just want them to know, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you just need to keep going and don't give up on yourself.
So just while you've got it there in front of you, just flash it up in front of us. Let's have a look at it. This is scoring goals in the dark. That's you, obviously, with Gareth Maher from the FAI.
Yeah.
I've obviously read the book. I think the story will resonate with a lot of people, not even from an interest in sport in a way, because we've seen some of the stuff that's happened with you, and obviously seen the publicity around the book as well. How have you found even that challenge, though? Having to kind of deal with the media intrusion in a way, or interest in it. It's trying to get the balance right for you of want to promote the book, but your story's out there for everyone to see. How have you found that? Have you kind of enjoyed it in a weird way, and also meeting fans at the book signings?
It's been an unbelievable experience. I've been hiding this part of me for so long. So anytime there was an interview or anytime anyone wanted to speak to me, I would always run away from it. I would always hide a certain element of my life that I didn't want people to know. Whereas now the book is out, I have nothing to hide anymore, and that's something that I'm really proud of, because I don't have to dodge questions. I don't have to run away from any of my issues or my problems, because I've just laid it out on the table, and I've taken it in my stride, to be honest. I was lucky enough, I went away on holidays the week before the book actually came out, so it was a nice place for me to go and to kind of let my hair down and just take a breath just before all the madness was to happen when the book came out. So when I landed in Cork, the book had actually been on the bookshelf. So it was an incredible experience. It still is an incredible experience. I'm still learning so much about myself and the book aspect to things, and there's been a lot of opportunities come my way. But I do still need to take things slow. I still am in recovery. I still can't take too many things on at the same time. Otherwise, my anxiety or can trigger my anxiety or certain aspects like my sleep and things like that. So I do have a lot of self-awareness around that. I do want to obviously go down the line of public speaking and speaking to as many young people as I can to, educate them on certain topics that they mightn't get elsewhere. So yeah, speaking out and being open, especially on, this is only my second podcast I've actually ever done. But with other interviews as well, it's just nice to be able to speak with such freedom and such openness. It's a place where I thought I would never actually have gotten to. So to be able to look back and see how far I've come in terms of being able to speak out about my struggles and helping as many people as I can is something, it's probably one of my biggest achievements so far in life.
So your future ambitions, though, like you're 27, that's right, yeah?
Yeah.
And your peak years now, football-wise, hopefully.
Yes, it is.
Hopefully back in the Ireland squad soon, scoring lots of goals as well. But what's your future aspirations then? Is it, you mentioned public speaking there, would you be interested in coaching? Have you got any interest in that, or kind of psychology of the game?
It would be more the psychology of the game. I'd love to, work with people on a one-to-one basis in terms of like the football and life aspect of things, and to get a more of an understanding. I think I have a really good understanding of myself, and that's because of all the struggles that I've had. I've had to grow through everything that I have gone through as well. And public speaking and maybe going down the line of like a life coach and something like that. I do have a role here with Glasgow City. I'm a project coordinator for the club and the mental health ambassador. So I do go into schools and promote the club and the women's game as best as I can. So it's definitely a stepping stone. I want to play football for as long as I possibly can too, and to achieve things that, I've always dreamed of as a kid. With the right mindset, I think you can achieve anything that you put your mind to, and just, keep as positive as I can, and hopefully things go my way over the next coming months.
Oh, brilliant. And where do you think the women's game's going to go now? Like, obviously we've had the Euros, a local team have done really well and won the competition. That's going to obviously kick on to Scottish football. The Welsh women's team are playing as well. And obviously the Republic of Ireland. How far do you think we can go? It's like, I know everyone's talking about that basically PE and that girls can now do it and they should be encouraged to do it. There should be no
Mhm.
boundaries. How far can we go with this, do you think? And what's needed to kind of get it
Yeah,
going that way?
it's kind of hard to see or to say where I think it's going to go. I think, it's skyrocketed in such a short space of time. I know there has been a lot of work going on behind the scenes in terms of retired players who have come back into the game and are trying to promote and are pushing for things that players deserve. And I think that's only going to get better. If we can maybe promote things in schools and get it involved in PE, and having, girls playing football from an early age, or even any sport that matter, just getting involved in team activities, as much as it's good for your physical activity, it's good for your mental health and everything that comes along with that. It teaches you different things like your diet, your sleep, your water intake. And you meet unbelievable people as well along the way. And I think you can't kind of take away that aspect of it as well. But I think, with the game, the way it's going, it's really exciting for the young players coming through now, and seeing where that can go. And, for as long as I'm going to be involved in sport, I will do everything in my power to promote that, and promote the game as much as I can to make a better future for those younger players coming forward.
Do you follow a lot of the kind of underage Irish women coming through as well? Like, and I'm kind of a player I kind of keep my eye on is Ellen Malloy. She's down at Wexford
Yeah.
Youths,
Mm-hmm.
excellent player.
Yeah.
Do you think like players are getting technically better, stronger? They're kind of now athletes from younger in a sense. Do you think? I think like she's going to go quite high profile. I think soon, Ellen Malloy.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to be a hard challenge for her as well, of doing things right, like when she could possibly move to like a women's Premier League team or whatever?
Yeah, I think, it comes with a lot of things. I think Ellen's an unbelievable player. She has shown that in the women's game in Ireland and in the league in Ireland, and making her mark at international setup as well. She has unbelievable people around her. She has those players that inspire her to maybe go and do the likes of what Katie McCabe is doing, and Nia Fahy, and Chloe Mustaki also is just jumped over the water as well. So,
Yeah.
She has a lot of people to kind of to go off and to be able to get advice from as well, which is unbelievable. I think that's great. And it's getting better in terms of the physical aspect of it, the fitness. There's a lot more knowledge going into your diet and what you're putting into your body, and your sleep, and strength and conditioning and things like that. And that's only going to improve anybody as a player, and it'll give them that extra boost to go over and to compete over, in the English league, and to be able to challenge themselves to the best of their ability.
And obviously England won the Euros with a Dutch coach. We've got a Dutch coach as well. How have you found working with Vera Pauw?
Yeah, I think it's great. It shows with the results that we've got over the last number of months. The team has just come together really nicely. And yeah, we were disappointed last season, or the last campaign, with just missing out. So, I think we have the squad and we have the staff to go one better this year. And, it's just something that I'm really looking forward to. I think the girls deserve it, with all the efforts that they've put into. So, hopefully we can go one better this season, or this campaign. And, I have nothing but admiration for anybody who plays at international level, because the standard that they're playing at and the intensity that they have to go at all the time, and trying to manage, the club football and the international football. It's very, very intense. So for anybody who has been able to manage that, hats off to you, because it's an incredible achievement to have the mentality to continue doing that, and to continue working at such a high level all the time.
I've seen Ireland now just their highest ever ranking in the world rankings, 26 today.
Mm-hmm.
Can we go higher?
I saw that. Absolutely, we can.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah,
Brilliant.
getting to the playoffs now, and driving on. I think, yeah, we could definitely go on better. And I know the girls have the World Cup in their eyes next year, and that would just be unbelievable for the team, for the country. And it just shows, when the work gets put in, and then when people start to back the women's teams that, you know, they can go in and they can give a performance, and they can, you know, hopefully qualify for these major tournaments.
Excellent. I mean, so just to finish, again, thank you for your time. It's been absolutely brilliant. I really appreciate that. Tell us again, where can you get the book?
You can get it in Eason's, you can get it on Amazon, you can get it in, I think, all bookshops anyway in Ireland are selling it, and then WH Smith online. And yeah, it's been crazy.
Just pop up the book again. So it's just to finish with that. So it's Scoring Goals in the Dark with Clare Shine with Gareth Maher. We're going to have a signed copy of that available for one of our listeners to win in due course. So again, thank you, Clare, for your time, and best of luck for the season. And hopefully we'll see you back.
I really appreciate it. It was nice talking to you. Thanks a million. I appreciate it.
All right. Hopefully we'll see you back in the green shirt soon.
Thank you.